just a robot.
Today we're going to be power scaling ASURA, who I've been calling ASURA for the longest time, but after replaying the game, yeah, it's actually pronounced ASURA. ASURA is from the game ASURA'S Wrath. I've played through the whole game a really long time ago. It was the only game that I've ever played that had good QuickTime events, and it better had good QuickTime events because 90% of the game feels like it's QuickTime events. It almost feels like you're playing through a one-season long shonen anime. Now keep in mind, I didn't play through the DLC, just the main game. So I was really confused when I saw people comparing ASURA to Superman and Goku. I mean, he was powerful, but he seemed more on the level of Ichigo and Naruto. This was also back when people in the Versus community were really against showing proof to back their claims up. I don't know why, but that was my experience back then. I did not think ASURA was a starbuster, mostly because no one was showing any evidence for it. Eventually someone did show me evidence. Guess what they did? They linked me to the first episode of a Let's Play. But one day, someone did finally link me to a clip of ASURA blowing up multiple stars. I'm sorry that I went on that whole rant, but that was a really bad experience in the Versus community for me. But now the Versus community is different. Now they show the littlest amount of evidence and take a lot of things out of context. But enough talk about that, let's talk about ASURA. We're gonna start off with some of his smaller feats and move up to the bigger ones. But just a little quick heads up. ASURA'S Wrath is a very badass game, but it's also a very bizarre game, and you'll see why in a minute. This is the first boss's final form, a giant sumo wrestler the size of a planet.
Of the seven deities, I am an absolute being that protects this world and its mortals.
So Frank, what did you do today? Well, I did a 3D model of a giant sumo wrestler the size of a planet. I don't know how to respond to that. This is actually from the game. Someone actually said, we need to put a planet-sized sumo wrestler poking the earth in this game. I mean, I've heard of getting fingered, but not like this. Now this is how ASURA'S power works. Many people will take what he did out of context and say, he did this with just one punch. But that's not actually how his power works. He punches something over and over again, building up kinetic energy, and then gives one final giant punch at the end. Also, ASURA can take damage from his own attacks, such as knocking off his own arms. Now, some of you may be thinking, wow, that's just the first boss? His feats must get more impressive as the game goes on. Well, in the main game, not the DLC, his feats are not really that much more impressive. For example, the fight with ASURA'S master. He does have one really impressive feat, but it's not really planet level.
You knew this was coming.
Whoa, that came across as oddly sexual. So he says you knew this was coming, and then his sword extends.
This is where real men belong.
My humor is that of a 9-year-old.
In the fight, I don't give a damn.
A-class writing right there. Real men belong in a fight. I don't give a damn. Whoever wrote that line deserves a raise. Imagine just playing the game and someone just walking in at that moment. Yeah, that would be my reaction too. That katana went right through the Earth, proving that it has great heat resistance, because the Earth's core is over 10,000 degrees Fahrenheit. The Earth is 24,902 miles long. The average katana is 23.5 inches long. There are 63,360 inches in a mile. It would take 2,696 katanas to equal 1 mile. So that katana Asura got stabbed with was 67,140,030 times the size of a regular katana. I'm just joking, it's way bigger than that. Because after it stabbed through the Earth, it kept going. Now the average katana weighs about 3 pounds, so if you had a katana as long as the Earth, it would be over 100,000 tons. And Asura actually breaks it in one punch. Some of you may say, well, he didn't break the whole thing, only a small part of the sword. And while that is true, a normal sword would have broke if it extended that long. Also, the sword didn't break when it went through the entire Earth. The final boss in the base game of ASURA'S Wrath is a giant, dark, 8-headed snake monster that's nearly as big as a planet. I'm gonna call him Orochi. Now, some people think this monster has infinite energy because of this line.
Its power is limitless. All the more reason we must defeat it.
But here's the thing. The 7 deities were trying to collect human souls to power this giant machine to defeat the monster. If you can count up to it, then it's not infinite.
So naive. It is too powerful. You will never defeat it. Only I can.
A guy who thought he could kill a monster with infinite power just died. I guess maybe they both have infinite power and so does everybody else. Also, in order to defeat this monster, Asura transforms into Matra Asura. He appears to have 1,000 arms before it condenses into 6 big arms. I'm gonna say this is a 166 times multiplier. If his 6-armed form is a planet buster, then this form is a multi-planet buster. But what happens when we go into the DLC of ASURA'S Wrath? Well, nothing much until you get to the last 2 parts. Get ready to see one of the most badass things in your entire life. If those galaxies are the same size as our own, then this guy might be the 3rd biggest character in all of fiction. The only 2 characters who I can think of who are bigger are Super Shenron and Super Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann. Oh, well, Asura failed. The Earth was vaporized. Oh, no, my mistake. He blocked enough energy so the laser went around the Earth. Man, must have been a bright day. It's too bad that all the humans are either blind or they have skin cancer now. Probably both. Do you even lift, bro? My muscles are the size of planets and moons. Now, the only problem I have with this form in the last one is Asura doesn't attain these forms on his own. The last form he got from his daughter, and he got this form by absorbing a laser. This is a big issue I have with Asura in Versus debates. A lot of his more impressive feats are not done with his own power. I guess he could get more powerful if he opened his chest and absorbed, say, a Kamehameha or Superman's laser eyes, but he really only gets 1 or 2 shots at that. Oh yeah, and this form is called Asura the Destructor. God damn it, I think I left the water running at home. Damn, that's fast. Just so you know, each of those galaxies is about 100,000 light years across. And assuming this guy is as far away as the Andromeda Galaxy, he is over 2.5 million light years away. Now this fight took me 4 minutes to finish, and if there's 525,600 minutes in a year, divide that by 4 because it took me 4 minutes, and considering it takes 2.537 million light years to reach the Andromeda Galaxy, that would mean Asura was going 33,361,800,000 times the speed of light. Now the final boss, Chakravartin, throws meteorites at Asura, planets at Asura, and even stars at Asura. This easily makes Asura multi-solar system level. But Chakravartin throws a planet at Asura that's even bigger than a galaxy. But Asura doesn't destroy it, he just goes through it. Kind of lame, if you ask me. Chakravartin does throw a giant blue star at Asura, but when he made the planet it was above his head, so we knew how big it was. The blue star is in front of him, and we don't know how far ahead of him it is. I'm just gonna be nice and say it has the same energy of a galaxy and move on. And he manages to defeat Chakravartin, so I guess he's multi-galaxy level, right? Well, maybe not. For one thing, he had to go inside Chakravartin and destroy his core. So this could be like an X-Wing missile destroying the Death Star. I've also heard people say Asura destroyed Chakravartin in one punch in his base form. And no, that's not true. He started off the fight in his Asura the Destructor form, and throughout the fight his transformation was torn off of him, and he punched Chakravartin a lot throughout the fight. Yes, in his base form he did give the final punch, but I already explained how he builds up kinetic energy in the beginning of the video. Also, this punch killed him. Final thoughts. Asura in his final form is hundreds of billions times the speed of light if we lowball him. He's multi-large solar system level if we lowball him, or he's multi-galaxy level. Some people may say he's universe level, but what do you guys think? Do you think I lowballed him, highballed him? Tell me in the comments down below. Also, someone actually made an animation of me as a space unicorn. Please go check it out. A link to it will be down below. Also, check out the new episode of Rewind Rumble. It's Asura versus Broly.